Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10 and support the channel at the same time. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to part 4 of our 5-part series where we're exploring all of the various tribes from Iconic Masters and which cards might be reprinted that fit into those tribes. And today we're going to focus on dragons, and later in the week we'll wrap things up with hydras. Now, generally, dragons are probably the most exciting out of the 5 tribes that are featured in Iconic Masters for a couple reasons. First off, there's a ton of value behind these dragons. You're going to see that today. And secondly, we just had a Commander 2017 Dragon Tribal deck come out, so there's a lot of players looking for ways to upgrade that deck, and perhaps we'll find some nice upgrades in Iconic Masters. That'd be very sweet, even though the set doesn't come out technically till November. Now, with that being said, quickly before we get started, if you check out the description below, you'll find a few ways to support us. Really appreciate that now more than ever. Of course, you probably all heard a lot of the issues with the YouTube revenue have crept back up again, so that has impacted me pretty strongly. But aside from that, if you check out the description, you'll find our Patreon page linked down there. That's a great way to help us. You'll find some links to Amazon products and anything you purchase on Amazon. Once you go through those links, a small percentage will come back to the channel. It's always helpful. And finally, Flipside Gaming has a link down there as well, and they provided a promo code for our viewers, which was really nice of them. So check those out, but let's get into the cards for now. We're going to start off with Dragonlord Ojutai, $5.02. Now, Dragonlord Ojutai, one of the Dragonlords from Dragons of Tarkir, this one was very popular when it was in Standard. It was a great Standard card. It's come down quite a bit since those days. At one point, I remember this being a $20, $25 card when I first started doing market watches a while back. So it's a lot cheaper now. It would be a great upgrade for that Commander 2017 deck. Even though it is lower on the value scale, this is the lowest value card we're going to look at today, it probably would still have to be a mythic considering it's Dragonlord Ojutai. So I don't know if it would be a great inclusion for expected value purposes, but it is a cool card, so I thought I'd mention it. Knollspine Dragon, $5.23. Okay, this is an interesting one. First off, it's a rare from Shadowmoor. Now, Shadowmoor had a really low print run compared to most current era Magic sets, just due to the fact that it was during a time when the game was actually down quite a bit when it comes to sales and engagement. So that's why you'll find a lot of times you'll see Shadowmoor rares and you wonder to yourself, why does this cost so much? Well, it's just simply because the print runs were a lot lower. This particular one's actually a good card as well and allows you to cycle through your deck. Really great for Commander games. So $5.23 is a rare maybe in the set. I think would be a great inclusion considering this is yet to be reprinted. Dragonlord Atarka, $5.25, another one of the Dragonlords, and this one got really popular recently with the release of that Commander 2017 deck. It spiked really hard. It has since stabilized down, and it stabilized pretty quickly back down to $5.25. But even so, it would still be a great inclusion. This card sees modern play occasionally too. It's just a phenomenal card for the casting cost and everything you're getting out of it. Alright, Sarkhan Unbroken. Now, this is technically not a dragon, of course, but I was trying to think about some planeswalkers that could appear, because obviously, you know, there's going to be at least 2 planeswalkers minimally in the set, right? Probably more like 3 or even 4. But Sarkhan Unbroken, I think, would be a good choice, because $5.99, it's not super expensive yet. It was from Dragons of Tarkir, so it's not super old either. But at the same time, this is a great inclusion just for Dragon Tribal Commander decks generally, and I think it would be a fun, maybe limited card as long as you have the color fixing to support it within Iconic Masters. But beyond that too, even for that Commander 2017 Dragon deck, this is a great upgrade card. Next we have Kargan Dragonlord, $6.12. Now technically this isn't a dragon, this is a human warrior, but the reason I included it is because it has a very close tie-in with dragons. Obviously, this is supposed to be a human riding a dragon, as you can see from the art here. And it had a high enough value and sees enough play, like in cubes and Commander and such, that I thought it was an interesting card. I'm personally not a huge fan of level up, just generally. I think sometimes you can pour too much of your resources into a level up card and then it just gets destroyed, or your opponent can string you along a little bit and not destroy it until you put an adequate amount of resources into it. But regardless of all that, this card can be decent at times and can be fun in certain formats, if nothing else. Sarkhan the Mad, $6.83. This card actually would be really sweet in the Dragon Commander deck, the 2017 deck. I didn't mention that in our upgrade video. I didn't mention the previous Sarkhan, but this one would be phenomenal. And it has a pretty nice price tag attached to it. It starts to feel a little bit better as a Mythic and a Master set. And if you can play this and you have a bunch of dragons on board, you immediately -4 it. it can be a big play. Hellkite Overlord, $6.99. This is from Shards of Allura. This actually did get a printing in the Dragon from the Vault, which was the first from the Vault. And this was a preview card. Actually, the original printing of that card was from Dragon from the Vault because this set was about to come out and they were trying to give you a throw forward to the new set. And this was the first set, of course, that also had the mythic rarity attached to it. So this technically kind of is like your first mythic card ever printed. Aside from the history there, it's a fine commander card. And I don't know, if the set was powerful enough, had good enough removal, could this get busted down to rare? Maybe. Perhaps. It just depends on the power level and what kind of removal spells you have in Iconic Masters. Thundermaw Hellkite, $7.12 from Magic 2013. Fantastic card. This thing has seen constructed play and I think will continue to in some capacity. But beyond that, I mean, the card's just awesome. It's never been reprinted. It's definitely time. It could be a mythic still and I think be fine with that price point. And I don't know. It feels too good to bump down to rare, quite honestly. I feel like this kind of has to be a mythic in the set if it does get reprinted. Nicol Bolas Planeswalker, $7.84 for that archenemy Nicol Bolas version. Now, this has been printed very recently, obviously. I tried to steer clear of cards that were printed recently, and because of its inclusion in that product, it's probably not going to be an Iconic Masters, but I just thought I'd throw it out there because it would be a good Planeswalker. It has a nice price tag attached to it, even though it has had a few printings now, one being very recent. But this is the most recent card, obviously, you'll see on the list. I tried to steer clear of anything going back to Battle for Zendikar, so basically your current standard legal sets, and I tried to steer clear of some other supplemental products that came out during that time. But this one, I threw it in there. I thought it is unique enough that there's a chance it could show up. Brimstone Dragon from Portal Second Age, $9.43. All right, Portal cards are weird, and this is one of them. Is the card all that good? Nah, not really. I mean, 8 casting cost, 6/6 flyer with haste. It's cool, but it's not anything to write home about. Nothing you'd spend $10 on typically. It's just the fact that it's rare, being from Portal Second Age and never being reprinted. So would it be cool to see this maybe even as an uncommon? Yeah, I think that would be sweet. If this showed up in the set as an uncommon, then yeah, players that like this card and like the uniqueness of it could get it. Maybe they get some new art on it. That would be cool. So I think it would be a nice inclusion in like that capacity. Sarkhan Wahl, okay, another Planeswalker, $10.95. This was last printed in Modern Masters, and it's another good one that interacts with dragons, in this case giving you some dragon tokens when you ultimate, so completely makes sense. And it's a 4 casting cost Planeswalker. I feel like for 4 this actually does quite a bit. Balefire Dragon, $12.25. This was the Innistrad Dragon. Still has not been reprinted, and it's a really cool card. If you can get that damage across, it kind of will work as almost a one-sided board sweep in a lot of situations. You do have to get the damage across, though, to that opponent, but if you do, it can really mess up their creature situation. Dragon Broodmother from Alara Reborn, $12.86. This was actually the pre-release promo card with different art back in the days when everyone got the same pre-release promo when they went to the pre-release and you couldn't play it in your deck. And that one you can find actually a few dollars cheaper than this one if you look. The art is, I don't know, I like the art on this one better, although the art on the promo version looks a little bit old school, so definitely check that out if you get a chance. But aside from that, I think it's a cool card. It hasn't been reprinted since Alara Reborn, so it feels like it could make sense here. It creates dragon tokens, which is sweet as well, and uses that Devour mechanic. Kokusho the Evening Star. You can get the Modern Masters version of this for $16.53. Now, the Kamigawa Cycle of Dragons, they were actually all in Modern Masters as mythics. They're all pretty good. In fact, this is the only one that made our list today, but if I went a little further, like 25 cards, I probably would have had a couple more in there. This, though, by far is the most popular and most powerful of the 5. Dragonlord Jermoka, $17.18. This is the third and last Dragonlord you'll see on the list today. But this one also spiked with the release of Commander 2017, but it held that spike a lot better. Now, just generally, this is just a good card. I mean, it has seen some constructed play in the past, and just even in non-dragon decks, I mean, your opponent can't cast spells during your turn. That's just a great ability to have. Not to mention, this has lifelink. It can't be countered. You're getting a ton here for 6 mana. Karthus, Tyrant of Jund, $17.64, another Alara Reborn card. This one very popular among Commander players. I think there was a lot of disappointment that this did not show up in the Commander 2017 Dragon deck. It feels like it could have been good there. But what's nice about this is it untaps your dragons if they're tapped for some reason. It gives all your stuff haste, so this has haste when it comes in, of course, itself. And it can just be a big play. And if anyone stole a dragon from you with some sort of control magic, you get it back. Also, if there's someone else at the table playing dragons, guess what? You get to take their stuff too. It's pretty crazy. This card's really sweet, especially if you're in a play group with a lot of dragon decks. Skithrix the Blight Dragon, $19.89, another card that has yet to see a reprint. This one is a dragon, and it has Infect, so it really falls into two camps for popularity. This has also seen a fair amount of modern play back in the day, too, so just a really strong card, and feels like maybe it's time for this one to show up as a mythic. Scourge of the Throne, $24.28. This is from the first Conspiracy, and it was a mythic there. So that's the only place you can get it, and the price tag certainly reflects that. So just generally, great card. 5/5 flyer with Dethrone for 6, and on top of it, if you happen to attack the player with the most or tie for the most life, you get a second combat phase. Love cards that give you second combat phases, especially one with this much meat behind it is actually pretty sweet for the casting cost. So yeah, you can look at it a couple of ways. Second combat phase could let you put away a player, just let you be ultra aggressive, but also you can have that first combat phase attack in with everything, untap for your second combat phase, and do nothing and defend. It almost becomes a quasi-vigilance, and that allows you to be more aggressive too. So really sweet card. I think it's overdue for a reprint. Love to see it show up here. Ugin the Spirit Dragon, $34.51 from Fate Reforged. Now, again, it's a Planeswalker, not truly a dragon. I guess lore-wise, though it is. Ugin is fantastic in Tron decks and Modern. That's why it's got the price tag it has. I'll be honest with you, I don't think this is going to show up here because they're going to save this for the Modern Master set once they finally do get up to Fate Reforged, and this is going to be a big card, a big featured card in that set. I don't see it showing up in Iconic Masters for that reason. I think they're going to wait on this one a little bit. We'll get some other really cool stuff, but I don't really think we'll see this. But I put it on the list for, if no other reason, for protest because I want it reprinted. All right, our last card. Speaking of cards I put on the list for protest, Zodiac Dragon, $314.26. Okay, you're probably reading this card. If you're not familiar with Portal 3 Kingdoms, you're probably saying to yourself, what is happening with the price of this card? Is it a good card? No, it's not a good card. 9 mana for an 8/8. And when it goes to your graveyard, it goes back to your hand. It does not fly. It has no evasion. It's a dragon without flying. So what's happening with this card? Well, Portal 3 Kingdoms is a very rare set. This was a rare in that set. Very hard to find. So because of that, players that want to try to collect dragons or maybe play with some unique dragons in their commander deck, they are looking for this card, and because of that, the price tag is very, very high on this card. I think it would be sweet to just reprint this, even as an uncommon. They'll never do that, but if this was like an uncommon, it could have been an uncommon, I think, in the set, and it would not cause any issue with the game at all. But they won't do that. If they were to reprint it, probably would be a mythic, and it would sell a lot of packs. I'll give it that. I don't see them going there with this set, though, quite honestly. I kind of wish they did just to get the price down on this card and to allow players that actually just want to play with this card because it's kind of weird and unique to be able to get a copy. But let's face it, if this did get printed in any sort of large quantity, people would lose interest pretty quick because it's not a great card. All right, with that being said, those are 20 cards that maybe we'll see reprinted in Iconic Masters. We will know, not this weekend, but next weekend when it actually gets played at HasCon. The set doesn't come out till the end of November, so we're going to have a lot of time to stew on whatever we see when we do see the packs open. But I thought it was pretty cool to talk about some cards that, who knows, might show up. So we got one more installment in this series. We're going to look at Hydra's much lower value, I'll warn you right now, but they'll be coming up later in the week. Until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.